My name is Bruna Franco, and my presentation today is about the effect of light wavelength on broilers, more than meets the eye. So varying wavelength is an option for broiler production, especially with the use of LED light bulbs. However, raising animals under different wavelengths can lead to alterations in their behavior, where birds raised under low wavelengths, such as blue, are usually calmer than birds raised under long wavelengths, such as red. But what is not clear is if the changes in behavior are associated with alterations on birds' visual system and color vision. The question is, do birds behave differently because they're not able to see well? So to address this question, the objective of this research was to assess the impact of raising broilers under three light colors on eye health and spatial vision. Our light treatments were blue light, green light, and white light. Several tests to assess eye health and vision were performed. To assess eye health, we conducted a complete ophthalmic examination with the assessment of chromatic pupillary reflex, rebound tonometry, anterior segment by microscopy, and indirect ophthalmoscopy. We also performed a series of eye measurements. To assess this, birds were euthanized, eyes were enucleated, and dimensions and weights were taken. We also assessed the refraction index, and for that we used an autorefractor. To assess spatial vision, birds raised under white light or blue light went under a grading acuity test at three different distances. On to the results. One of our eye health assessment was to measure the intraocular pressure. If intraocular pressure values are higher than normal, birds could show vision loss or even glaucoma. The results here show that light treatments did not affect intraocular pressure, and I would also like to point out that the intraocular pressure is in the normal range in all light treatments. The remaining ophthalmic examinations did not reveal abnormalities as well. In the tests of eye measurements, any alteration in eye shape and size could influence vision. For eye dimensions and weights, no alterations and no differences between light treatments were found. For the refraction index, the use of an autorefractor detects if the eye properly focuses an image. The results here show that birds raised under blue light had higher sphere value than birds raised under white light. This indicates that birds raised under blue light could be considered slightly more far-sighted, which means that they can see distant objects more clearly, but objects nearby may be blurry. On the other hand, birds raised under white light can be considered slightly more nearsighted, where distant objects may appear blurrier. We also conducted a spatial vision test in order to identify if birds were able to discriminate the details of their visual scene. In this test, birds were placed at three different distances, either under blue light or white light, and the time they took to approach the correct stimulus and also their success in doing so was measured. The results here show that birds raised under white light took more time to approach a stimulus at 50 and 75 centimeters of distance, which means that birds raised under blue light were faster on approaching a stimulus at a smaller distance. At 100 centimeters of distance, birds raised under blue light had a higher success rate as compared to birds raised under white light. This indicates that birds raised under blue light were more successful at the discrimination of the details in the scene at a longer distance than birds raised under white light. So for conclusion, the exposure to blue light resulted only in minor differences in refraction and spatial vision. Birds raised under blue light were slightly more far-sighted than birds raised under white light. However, they were able to be faster on approaching an object at a smaller distance, and they were more successful when approaching an object in a longer distance if compared to birds raised under white light. However, it is not clear if these differences are sufficient to fully explain the changes in behavior that we perceive in birds raised under blue light. This is a continuing research that aims to understand the mechanisms of these behavioral changes. Thank you very much.